Today I'm going to show you how to create texture out of Cosclay, the flexible polymer clay. Cosclay was launched on Kickstarter and it will be soon available on the market around midsummer, I think. So today I'm going to use Sprout from Create Along. It's a texture sheet made of silicone. And I want to create a reverse version of this texture. To do so, I'm going to need a cheap old brush. Really, it's going to be sacrificed, so don't take expensive one. A little bit of liquid polymer clay, and also a Cosclay sheet. It's free on my Atlas machine. So, what I'm going to do is take a little bit of liquid polymer clay on my brush and gently brush it on my texture sheet on the texture sheet I want to recreate. Like that. Why am I using liquid polymer clay? Because it's gonna make the clay stick. So you can texture like that. Don't really stick to the clay sometimes, and I want my impression to be as good as possible, of course. So I'm taking my clay sheet. This is a mix of the firm gray clay and another color which was warm beige. The color doesn't really affect anything. You can just use a mix of firm and very flexible one. Here I'm taking a little piece of clay, but you can recreate the whole texture. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use a little makeup sponge to be sure that my clay won't be lifted with my finger. So first I'm pressing it down with fingers, applying a lot of strength. And then I'm gonna take a roller pin. My acrylic one broke, so I'm gonna use a candle instead, as we are in lockdown in France, but you can use anything you have. And if you have a true roller pin, I think it's gonna be much easier. Don't be afraid to push really hard. The sponge will make it more even, and that's way you're sure your texture is gonna be fully printed. Let's set that aside, and now I'm gonna gently peel it back. And here we are. You have a reverse texture that you would be able to use on any other clay projects. Once it's baked, you can use it as flexible texture like this. You can use different kind of thicknesses. Here I tried. I tried from 4, 3, 2, and 4 again on my Atlas pasta machine. And as you can see, if you want a flat back for your texture, you're gonna need to use the thickest clay setting. And as you can see, they all are quite flexible. I show you how to create a texture from a texture sheet, but you can also use other kinds of stuff you have around. You can use Deco Discs. You can also, so here my reverse form, but you can also use findings that you find beautiful. Rubber carved texture. This was made long ago. And you can also sculpt it. When you sculpt it, don't forget that your texture will be reversed. If you do a dot on your texture sheet, it will be raised when you mold it. This is a test for dragon scale. I really love that. Always keep your texture sheet thin, otherwise it won't be as flexible as you need. And now I'm gonna show you how to make reverse earring like this. For that, you're gonna need some things. You're gonna need a Deco disc and the texture you like. Oh, sorry about the camera. So the Deco Disc is here. You're also gonna need some clay. Here is Fimo Lever Black, but you can use other kind of clay, of course. And you're gonna need a demolding agent. Here is Vaseline. So take an old brush and spread your demolding agent on all the little crevices of the Deco Disc. Do the same on the texture you made. And now it's time to impress them. I tear off my clay in 2 pieces because I'm gonna need to make 2 earrings. First, the Deco Disc one. You can use a sponge or your finger or anything else you like to really impress the texture on. I don't need a full design, so I'm just gonna do it partially. Deco Discs are really great because you can, as they are transparent, you can see if there's any air pocket on your design, and you can press it firmly to adjust that. So here's the design that I want. As you can see, it's a lot darker. Here. And then I'm gonna peel it carefully to be sure that my clay doesn't stay in the Deco Disc. It happens sometimes if you didn't put enough Vaseline. Here you can see I have a little tear off, but it's okay. Set that aside and do the same with your reverse. So firstly, I'm gonna lay down my textured stamp, and then I'm gonna put my clay on and use the same technique again. I really love the effect left. It's a matte finish left by those sponges. So you can also press with your finger a little bit, and now is reveal time. As Cosclay is flexible, you can see that I can lift my clay without any problem. The surface is very wet because of the Vaseline, so you can take your makeup sponge and gently wipe off the excess. I don't really care about the excess that's just in the that are on the indent, because I'm gonna wash them off once my clay is baked. Now we are gonna need some color, so here I'm using mica powder. If you apply it with a brush, the mica will go all over, but you can instead put some on your finger and wipe it on the surface you want to be accent. Don't put too much on your finger. My advice is to always tap it down so you're sure that there's no excess. Do the same on your reverse texture. Tap it down and gently brush it. And now I'm gonna take a cutter, select my design, and press like so. Do the same and try to choose the exact same design and emplacement with your reverse texture. And remove the excess clay. Now you have your two earrings. You're gonna need a dotting tool to make holes that will allow the jump ring to be mounted. And now you're gonna have to bake it. Be careful, Cosclay bake at a higher temperature than other clay. Here are the instructions. Be really careful to follow them. Otherwise, your clay won't be flexible enough. Never bake clay that bake at low temperature with Cosclay, otherwise they're gonna make some nasty fumes in your oven. Once it's finished, you can just varnish them with UV resin, my favorite, or leave them raw, like I did here. I hope you enjoyed this video. See you soon.